Hi, it's Katrina. Forget great white sharks. From their mean-looking teeth to their love for jumping out of the water, here are 9 amazing facts about the Mako shark. Number 9. World's fastest shark. In the ocean, being able to catch your prey and eat it is crucial to survival, and it is hard and competitive out there. You not only need strength, you need speed. And when it comes to sharks, none of them can compare to the speed of a shortfin Mako shark. Many have studied the speeds of the Mako shark and determined that its speed hovers between 45 to 60 miles per hour, which makes it unquestionably the fastest shark in the world. And yes, that includes the great white shark. Nick Wegner of the Scripps Institution of Oceanography said, "I'd compare a Mako to something like a cheetah, but bigger and with larger teeth and more muscle." That's not scary or anything. You might think that comparing it to a cheetah is a bit premature, but cheetahs have a top speed of 60 miles per hour that have been documented by a radar gun. So if a cheetah and a Mako shark had a race, it would likely end in a tie. To further put this into perspective, the Mako shark's top speed can match a car on most highways, so it could outrun your car in many cases, especially if there's traffic. The reason for its speed is its body shape. Unlike many other sharks which have chubbier, bulky frames, the Mako shark is streamlined to the extreme. Its body is somewhat shaped like a bullet, which includes its face, which is very cone-shaped. To some scientists, the Mako's body is just like a torpedo. Number 8. The Mako and the Tuna. Sharks and tuna diverged from a common ancestor 400 million years ago, so you could say that by now they are not closely related at all. But sharks love to eat tuna. And in more recent years, sharks who hunt tuna like the Mako have started to develop similar physical traits. The bluefish tuna is very fast. Scientists believe that after struggling to catch the bluefish tuna, the Mako shark started to adapt its body so that it would be more streamlined and fast, like its prey. This may sound like something out of a sci-fi novel, but it's not. It's actually a process called convergent evolution. This form of evolution is one that can be started by both predator and prey alike. They'll notice the traits of the other and then start molding their body like them. In the case of the bluefish tuna and the Mako shark, both of them now have centralized muscle structures, which account for their speed. This has been likened to pistons, which help propel both fish and shark in ways that other fish just can't do. While they don't look alike, the Mako and the tuna both have an edge over other ocean creatures. The Mako makes the most of this via its tail, which is more crescent-shaped than other sharks. This difference in shape allows for more straightforward movement, and so it doesn't need to have the wavy form of movement other sharks have. It can have fast bursts of speed and be faster than the rest. Scientists have tested both their DNA and concluded that bluefin tuna and Mako sharks have some of the same genetic traits, even though they evolved independently. Pretty cool, right? Nature knows what it's doing. Number 7. The Mako and the Maori. The Maori people arrived in New Zealand around 1300 CE from Polynesia. Their love and respect for the Mako shark goes far beyond what you might think. To the Maori people, the Mako sharks are actually guardian spirits in their lore, and they have a great significance to their culture. In fact, the word Mako is actually a Maori word. Fun fact, it's their word for shark and shark tooth. So when you say Mako shark, you're technically saying shark shark. Finding the tooth of a Mako shark was considered a high honor and were a prized possession. They were also viewed as a currency of sorts, as they could be bought, sold, traded, and more. Along with the Makos, the Maori also greatly respected great white sharks. One of the legends says that while they were traveling to New Zealand, they had a dangerous encounter with a large sea creature, but they were saved by a mythical great shark. Every family had a shark protector, and they compared their warriors to sharks. They used to eat them by the thousands too, but could only hunt them 2 days a year. Anyone caught hunting sharks outside of these days was stripped of their property. The teeth were then used in weapons and as tools and jewelry. The liver oil was mixed to make red paint and cosmetics. Many times we forget how important sharks really are, and it's interesting to note that while most people are terrified of sharks, for others they are protectors. Number 6. They are very smart. Many fish have been said to have small brains, but when it comes to the Mako shark, they are the exact opposite. In fact, when comparing brain size to body mass, they actually have the biggest brain of all the sharks in the world. With their large brains, they're able to think and react very quickly, as well as adapt to new situations, which is one of the reasons they evolved into the torpedo-like shape they have now. They have excellent critical reasoning and social skills. Another benefit from their large brain is that they have better use of their senses. Most sharks use electroreception to navigate the world. They have special pores around their faces that detect electrical currents emitted by other creatures. Some sharks even need to use this to guide them around via their lateral line. However, because the Mako's brain capacity is so large, they can rely on their other senses like hearing, smell, and vision to much greater effect. As if that weren't enough, their larger brains can help them reason and make deductions. For example, they only attack humans when threatened or if they feel they are in a highly weakened state, and their brains will help them determine if an approaching human is a threat or not. Because of this, many scientists and researchers have been allowed to hand feed the Mako and touch them without any injury. Number 5. Air Mako. If you've seen shark documentaries, you know that sharks can jump ridiculously high out of the water. Air Jaws on the Discovery Channel shows great whites jumping out of the water to grab prey, then slam them down in order to stun them, thus making them easier to kill and eat. When it comes to the Mako shark, though, they take this to a whole new level. While great white sharks have been known to get a couple of feet into the air, Mako sharks have been documented as going as high as 30 feet into the air. That's right, with their bodies and their lightning-fast speed, they can leap as high as a 3-story building. What's more, they don't just use this ability to get at prey, they will also do it to try and escape a fisherman's hook, or for no reason at all. There have been many times where a Mako shark has been caught by a line, and so they will jump out of the water and onto the boat to try to attack them. Remember, they are smart and will do anything they can to survive. If a Mako shark is near you, stay calm and don't provoke it, or it will see you as the enemy. And in the water, it is smarter, stronger, and probably smarter than you. Number 4, it lives all over the world. For ocean creatures, one of the biggest things that can affect where they live is the temperature. This holds true as well for the Mako shark. However, the Mako has adapted to also live in warm waters, which means it can pretty much live anywhere in the world outside of the Arctic and Antarctic oceans. It is only one of 5 species of shark that is warm-blooded because it can regulate its body temperature. Warm blood helps to make their muscles strong so they can use their energy more efficiently. Scientists have documented that the Mako can be found in great numbers in the Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, the Red Sea, and the Mediterranean, but it has been recorded living in other places as well. It can be seen off the coast of Russia, New Zealand, Australia, India, East Africa, Hawaii, Argentina, Brazil, you get the point. What's more, it doesn't have to stay too deep in the water. As a pelagic species, it can actually live really close to the surface, which is why fishermen sometimes catch them in their lines and nets. In fact, most of the time the Mako shark can be found around 500 feet below sea level, if not higher. What might scare people is that sometimes the Mako can be found right off the shore, so be careful before you dip your toe in. Number 3, they can travel great distances. While Mako sharks are defined as social creatures, largely due to their enhanced intelligence, they are also very solitary creatures at times, just depends on their mood, which leads them to travel the world, as it were. Thanks to their great speeds, they can actually travel large distances in a very short amount of time. On average, they can travel around 34 miles per day in total distance, and they've also known to do 60 miles a day as well. In fact, one was actually documented as traveling over 1,300 miles in just 37 days, which makes it the fastest distance traveled by any animal on Earth. This ability to travel far is very useful to them, for not only does it help them move around the oceans, but it can help them find more sources of food. Number 2, they live a long time. If you were to guess, what do you think the lifespan of a Mako is? Of course, not counting accidental deaths, natural causes only. Go ahead, guess. The answer is about 28 years old, although some have been recorded to live to 35. Scientists aren't sure how they are able to live that long. Mako sharks are part of a group of sharks that seem to actually live longer as time goes by. A couple hundred years ago, they could have only had a 20-year lifespan, but now they can live up to 35, which means that in theory, they could be living longer and longer a few generations from now. Also curious is that female Mako sharks actually age faster than males. Number 1, shortfin Makos have only attacked humans 9 times. When you hear the word shark, you might immediately think Jaws, get out of the water! But this perception is hopefully changing as people get more educated about sharks. Shark attacks depend on shark species as much as the location. For the Mako shark, while it may look scary with all of those teeth, it is important to note that they actually don't attack humans all that often. In fact, there have only been about 8 to 9 unprovoked attacks on humans by the Mako shark, and only one of those attacks was fatal. There is a catch though, because Mako sharks are seen as a prize to some fishermen. As they get reeled in, they will lash out on boats. In fact, the only shark that is considered more dangerous than a Mako shark on a boat or lunging out of the water onto a boat is the great white shark. In contrast, Mako sharks have been known to let humans come up to them, like I mentioned before. They study them, even feed them. The divers have even noted that Mako sharks will let you know if they think you are a potential meal. As long as you read their signals, you should be all right. You shouldn't go and provoke a Mako shark, but if you're fearing an attack, it's very unlikely to happen. Thanks for watching! I hope you enjoyed this video about this impressive predator. The great white can't always get all the credit. See you next time. Bye!